I'm John Haler, your mayor, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the event. I don't see any elected officials here. I'm sorry. I just saw a brown one over here. Just so hard to see. Is anybody else here? I don't think there is. Anyway, when I go and talk to groups and just champion what we have in Ames, I consistently refer to Ada Hayden as the crown jewel. And this project just further enhances that. And I know I speak on behalf of council. We are committed to improving the quality of all the amenities in our community in the different parks. This is just one example, and we're just thrilled at how well it turned out. And also, we want to enhance the user ability. So you may or may not be aware, but we widened the path by 2 feet and other improvements to make it better for people as they're biking, walking, and or rolling along the way. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Nathan Shimonek. He's the Park Recreation Commission chairperson, and he's going to offer a few comments as well. Nathan?
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Nathan Shimonek. I'm pleased to serve on your Parks Direct board. I'm joined here today by my fellow board members, Hannah Sappenfield, Janet Rathy, and Dwayne Reeves. One of our charges on this board is to seek out with our stakeholders safety in recreation. And let's start with the social safety. You know, that social contract as we enjoy our recreational opportunities, being polite and, telling people you're on their left and traveling at a reasonable, prudent speed and, yielding right away. But there comes a time when the number of users, outgrows that social safety, and we have to seek, environmentally engineered safety. And that's what this trail is. We have so many users. It is the crown jewel of our Parks and Rec system, not only for our Ames residents, but we all here have friends that come in from out of town and love enjoying our wonderful, wonderful park. And this trail is going to help with that. The number of users can have space to use it safely, hopefully, and more people could come out. So we cannot be happier with this improvement. And we're out here all the time, and it's going to be great to see everyone else out here. I'd like to introduce Jim Pease. He's our Friends at Ada Hayden board president. We work really closely with the Friends at Ada Hayden, and we really appreciate their support. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Nathan. We really appreciate it. I want to introduce other board members that are here. We have 9 board members, and if they'll raise their hands, I'll introduce them. So Jim Patton, Bob Klaver, there's Wolf Osterreich, Paul D'Amato, Tana Tesdell, who else? Anybody else here? Okay, and there are several more. One of them is actually teaching right now, so Greg Courtney couldn't be here because he's teaching. The Friends of Ada Hayden is a group that has grown out of the citizens group that helped make this park a reality back in 2001. A lot of the folks on our board have been involved ever since then, and it's really been our pleasure to be a partner with the City of Ames and the Parks and Recreation Commission in making this the gem of the park that it is. And we really appreciate the city's investment, original investment in the park, and all the taxpayers that put into it. And we appreciate the continuing investment that they are putting into it with this much needed trail widening and a replacement. And it'll be really nice when it all gets hydro-mulched and finished up. So it's really been a terrific improvement for the park. The Friends Group does lots of things. We did not contribute to this other than trying to keep people off the trails. Not very successfully, but we tried. We contributed to a lot. We continue to contribute to lots of things in the park. We fortunately have an endowment that many people have contributed to over the years. It's invested through the Story County Community Foundation. And we take the interest off of that, and that's what we use together with membership dues to annually do all kinds of things, everything from the signage that's up in the park, the wayfinding signs and all the interpreter signs, to the handicap. We helped out on the handicapped accessible dock. We hire a summer intern that provides programs with lots of board members out here. And we continue to find other ways to help the city make this park and all of our parks the gems that they really are for the citizens of Ames and the surrounding area. It really is a great pleasure to see the kind of investment that the city continues to put into it, and the Friends is very, very appreciative of that. So we want to thank the mayor and council, certainly the Parks and Recreation Commission. Nathan, thank you, and especially to Keith Abraham. And where is Joshua? Joshua, I saw him earlier. Yeah, there he is. Okay. So Joshua as well, Joshua Thompson, who's superintendent of the parks. So they put a lot of time into this, and we're just happy to be, as a Friends group, to be able to help out. So thank you all for coming. Let me introduce Keith Abraham, who's going to direct us in the ribbon cutting. He's the director of Ames Park and Recreation.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. So just a little bit more about the project. I know the mayor has mentioned a few things already, but we did widen the trail. We went from asphalt to concrete. A couple of reasons: more longevity, resolve some of the safety issues that we were having with the asphalt. A couple of other things that we did is we did add some drainage. There are some sections of the trail that did get water over them, and with the drainage that we added, that should alleviate some of those water issues as well. The trail is not officially open yet, although you do see a lot of people walking out here and everything. There is still a few construction items that need to be completed. One, tomorrow they're going to be putting some graphics, painting some graphics on the trail. And then they also need to finish up with some of the grading and the hydro mulching. And then we also need to put signage up. Now, one of the things that prior to this project, we did ask the public, had some feedback sessions and did a survey regarding rules and policies and so on. And it was interesting, with this project, we get a lot of use. We get the walkers, we get the bikers, we get the e-bikers, we get scooters, we get just about every form of transportation out here. And there were some feedback that we received that people wanted to ban e-bikes. Don't allow this, don't allow that, and so on. But we also heard from a number of people that said, you know what, I am an e-bike user, and I have biked my entire life. And if it wasn't for an e-bike, I can't enjoy an activity that I have done for many, many years. So what we are doing is we are allowing, continuing to allow multiple modes of transportation, those personal transportation devices out here. But we are going to institute a 10-mile-per-hour speed limit within the park system. That needs to be approved by council, but that's going to be our recommendation, and that's a recommendation from the Parks and Recreation Commission. We also are going to institute a change. What we want is anybody that's walking, so feet, anybody that's walking, we want those individuals to stay to the lake side of the path. So whether you're walking counterclockwise or clockwise, we want you to stay to the lake side. If you've got wheels, whether it's a bike or a scooter, rollerblades, whatever, we want you to stay as far away on the path from the lake. So that way we can try to avoid some of those safety issues that we have been having. And what Nathan had mentioned, the kindness, the respect, goes a long way to getting along with each other. And that's really important with this project. So I do want to give a few thanks. The project itself was designed by WHKS. They're out of Ames, engineering design company. We're really happy with the work that they did with the design, and then also with Caliber Concrete. They were the contractors on this project, and they did a really nice job. If you haven't been on the trail, you will see when you walk or bike the path. As always, a lot of this, and Jim, you touched on this as well, this isn't possible if we didn't have the support of the city council, the mayor, city manager's office, the Parks and Recreation Commission, and all of you, the residents of Ames. There's a lot of benefits for being part of the being out in the park system, physically, emotionally, mentally. The list goes on when you're outdoors and the benefits that you reap from that. So really wanted to say thanks to all of that support. You know, the Friends group, just a couple of additional projects. You know, they have been a great partner, and Jim and Irv, who's no longer with us. I know Josh and I talk a lot. And anytime we sat down with Jim and Irv, we always learned something, which is great. And the other board members, they have so much to offer, so much expertise and ideas, but they also help with funding. And a couple of things that we're going to be doing. If you've ever been out here when we've been picking up trash, we've done it with our packer. We are purchasing a utility vehicle, smaller, to go around and pick up trash. The Friends of Hayden have supported that effort with a $10,000 donation. We've done a couple of mini shelter renovations. They have committed to funds to renovate the remaining mini shelters that we have out here. They've committed funds to add some trash cans, and the list goes on. So thank you to the Friends group and everybody who is a part of that organization. Also, city staff, this is a project that, we're putting a path down over 3 miles of concrete that went down. We went to Public Works, Mindy Bringleson, and then Scott Shepard, who's one of their inspectors. They were heavily involved with this project. Scott was out here an awful lot during the project when things were going down and making sure things were done, correctly. Mindy helped us with just support and guidance on the project. And then I know Joshua's already been thanked, but Joshua does a lot for our department, project management. We were talking the other day, a year and a half ago, Parks and Recreation, we had 52 projects that we were completing or working on. We are now down to 22. And our goal is to have those all completed by January 30th of 2026. So, and a lot of that is due to Joshua and our other staff efforts as well. So with that, I'm going to turn back to the mayor. He has a few words yet to say, and then we'll do the ribbon cutting. Thank you.
What are the Thank you, Keith. Did you all catch that we have over 3 miles of paved trails? That's pretty fantastic. And I just asked Keith to verify, because I forget numbers sometimes. $1.2 million, and you helped all pay for that through your tax dollars or through local option sales tax. So thank you for your investment. And Keith, it sounds like you're almost done with the project, so you got 52 more we can go ahead and add to your list then. Is that right?
Bring them on.
All right. I do want to just thank, as Keith already did, Dr. Pease and Friends of Hayden. We are fortunate in Ames to have a number of Friends of Parks group, but I can't tell you how many times I've been out here and some other Friends of Hayden doing a lot of work. But thank you. It takes a lot, and it's not lost on us. I know council really values it when you come in and offer feedback, and you're really a steward of this park. And thank you for your efforts and for your entire organization. It means a lot, and we got a lot accomplished together. So thank you. And Parks Recreation Commission, you guys, 52 projects, huh? We got more coming. So anyway, thank you for your efforts. Also on behalf of council, it's a hardworking group, and I think you got about 20 hours of ribbon cuttings under your belt so far, this year, and you got more coming up too. So. Also, we have a couple more council members arrived just a few minutes ago. We got Gloria Betcher, Anita Rollins, Rachel Junk also showed up. So thank you for coming. So with that, we're going to go ahead and cut the ribbon. So if council members would come up, friends of Ada Hayden that are here, come on up, and then commission board members come on up, and we'll cut the ribbon and stay off the path. Is that what you said?
Until Saturday.
Until Saturday. Okay.